Hi, everyone. Welcome to Glitch and Glow, the podcast where digital dreams meet soulful self-care. I'm Ariel,
And I'm Edna.
and we're social workers by trade, and we're your hosts on this journey through the worlds of tech, wellness, gaming, and Black womanhood.
Each week, we dive into real conversations, leveling up our self care, decode the latest techs, and celebrate the wins, big and small, in our communities.
Whether you're here for the healing, the hacks, or the high scores, you're in the right place. So grab your tea, your controller, or your headphones. Let's tap in. So let's move into our segment boot sequence. This is where we boot up and sink in. Here's what's on our mind today. Let's start off with our glitches. What's been a thorn in your side this week, Edna?
I was ready this week. I had it. I was like, ooh, as I'm experiencing my life, this is it. This is my glitch. So I told y'all last time that I was going to be traveling a little bit over the past few weeks. And the very last flight I took, my flight back to Dallas, I noticed that I had an aisle seat. Instant win, right? Like I don't normally, and neither did I this time, pre-purchase my seat.
Mm,
So,
mhm.
it's always kind of a gamble. It's a surprise. And so I was like, oh, yes, an aisle seat. What a time. And I start going and I'm walking down the aisle and I keep walking down the aisle and I keep
Oh my
walking down the
God.
aisle.
The suspense.
I know, to learn I'm in the last row, the absolute last row,
No.
which means I am,
Oh
up is
no.
looking at me, which means I'm literally right by the bathroom.
Oh,
I've never had this happen before.
oh,
And this flight was 3 hours and 15 minutes, I think. And y'all, I didn't know how much people use the bathroom on a flight. Like, I really
constantly.
try not to go personally. And if I have to go, like, I really, really had to go. And this was one of those airplanes that only had a bathroom all the way in the front and all the way in the back type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
just the amount of people, and then it was super shitty because I'm also in the last row. I'm right by the bathroom, so everyone is like either hitting me or damn near hitting me on the way. And so
Mm-hmm.
like that was such a glitch for me. I
Yo.
recommend actually maybe not a 0 out of 10 because at least I had the aisle, but maybe like a 3 out of 10.
I would say a 0.5 out of 10. Are you
Okay.
serious?
I think I'm trying to be optimistic and look back on it like
I'm
I
like,
kind of napped,
mm-mm.
whatever. But I think what also made this flight not terrible, but I also have motion sickness now. So, like taking off, I have to really just concentrate, look forward, and breathe. And I have
Yeah.
to just be still until the plane levels out. It like does that incline, and then it starts to like swoop and level out. And maybe it's
Yeah.
going to the left, it's going to the right. Like I have to really concentrate so that I don't get sick. What helps me is that I don't know what's happening outside of the plane. The windows are all closed usually, blah, blah, blah. This time, though, again, a new experience for me. In my row, the woman sitting at the window has her window wide open the entire flight. The other side of the row or the aisle, that row, that person at the window has their window open the
Hmm.
entire flight. And I'm
Hmm.
trying to think my initial thought was, who does this? Like, who has the window open the entire flight? And then I really tried to reframe and I was like, you know what? Maybe these people really like looking out the window. It is quite magical to look out the clouds. Maybe it's their first flight. Like I try to do all the reframing,
Sure.
but
Sure.
girl, at first I was like, what's happening here? Like I am unwell. I'm trying to take a nap. People are coming past me to go to the bathroom. Like, what is happening on this flight? And so that's my glitch. I really hope to not have a flight like that in the future. And I will do fine if it is, but I was still just like, what is happening right now? So that's my
Yeah.
glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. What about you? What's your glitch?
Wait, so I think my glitch for the past week, honestly, is so the CTA has been giving me a hard time.
See,
So for the folks who don't know, CTA is our transit system in Chicago, and like I am an avid CTA rider. I actually love the CTA where a lot of people really hate it, but sometimes we have these things called ghost buses, and you can like go on an app and you can track like what bus line you need, right? And so I take the bus to work, and it happened 3 times in the last 2 weeks that I would like track my bus. So I know if my bus is coming in 4 minutes, I have 1 minute to leave my house because the bus stop is like around the corner from my house. So I know I have 3 minutes to get there. If I go 2 minutes, I'm gonna miss it. If I go 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, like I'll just be waiting outside, which is like fine typically. But because the weather's been so wonky here, I try to like cut it to a science. And so with these ghost buses, they'll tell you like, okay, 3 minutes till your bus, so you get out there and then you wait, and then you wait, and then you wait. And then next thing you know, the next one doesn't come for another 17 minutes. And so I'll just be like outside
Mm,
upset because now I've also like, I know what time to leave to get to work on time. And so if I don't make that one, then like I know I'm gonna be late. So I ended up being late for work like 3 times in the past 2 weeks because of these ghost buses. And typically they don't happen in the summer. It's typically a winter situation. So yeah, that was really grinding my gears the past 2 weeks. So that's
mhm.
my glitch. Like I know, yes, could I leave for work earlier? Sure. Sure. But sometimes I don't wanna. So here we are. Here we are.
You know what's funny? So someone talked to me about how they listened to the past few episodes and they were like, they listened to the second one, they heard the beginning and they were like, wait, isn't this the first episode? And I was like, no, it's the second one. And they were like, oh, Ariel, I guess she just really doesn't like being hot. Because I didn't realize that you had already talked about not being hot or how you don't like
Mhm.
being hot like the first episode and the second episode. So I was like, ooh,
I
what's she gonna
did.
say again? Yeah, you were talking about how the AC was
Yo.
out or you were having a hard time
Oh
with
yeah.
the AC circulation in your
No.
bedrooms and you were hot, then the world was hot or the
The
city
world
was
was
hot the
hot.
second time.
Yo.
So I just was like, what's she gonna say this time? And that glitch does suck, but I really was like, ooh, is she gonna talk about the heat in some capacity? And you didn't.
No, because the heat like kind of calmed down a smidge too much low key, but I'm not upset about it. But
Mm.
Chicago weather is very up and down. You truly never know what's going to happen. 1 minute could be 90, 4 hours later, it could be 75. You just really don't know. But if we're dealing with 90 plus temps, I don't do well in that.
Mhm.
So,
I
and that's
understand.
what we were dealing with for a while.
I still brought you down to the heat, so I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
You did, you
put
did.
that
I
on
wasn't gonna
you.
go there, but I feel passionate.
My
Because
bad.
it didn't used to be a thing for me.
I
Um,
know, I know. My bad.
Anywho.
My bad. My bad.
Well, what's your glow? What's something like, what's a rose for you?
I'm so proud. Again, last episode, I was talking about how I had not gamed still, and I was like,
Mhm.
as I travel, I'm going to be bringing my Switch with me. I'm going to play something.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I had bought, I'm sure other people do this, and I know that they do. Like you buy games and you don't really play them, but like I said, I end up still being in the e-store or the Play Store or whatever, acting like I don't have games that I have bought that I haven't played. And so
Mm-hmm.
finally, somebody had reminded me of a game that I was like, oh shit, I have that. I just haven't played it. So I started it at the house one day and ended up taking it with me on my travels, and it's called Grease, Gris. And this game, it's a platformer with some puzzles. There's no dialogue whatsoever, not to read, no voice acting, but the soundtrack is immaculate. It is
Mm.
an absolutely beautiful game. The things that you're doing in the game, it was like surprisingly quite emotional for me. I forgot how many hours of gameplay. It was probably wasn't that many hours of gameplay, but was like the perfect amount for just like the pattern of puzzles that you were doing. And the puzzles were not
Yeah.
very hard. You know, there's some puzzles where you're like, shit, now I need to go onto YouTube and look it up to solve it. Like this was not like that. And so
Yeah.
they have another, I wish I could remember the developer right now, but they have another game that's out that I'm like, okay, I'm really excited to play that game now. But I'm just so proud of myself. And
Oh,
then it like
yes.
got me out of my rut. So I have to mention this, another game I started, and it's called Gone Home, and it's by Annapurna Interactive Games. And Annapurna might be familiar to you because they make movies too.
Mm,
So this is like a different department. That sounds wrong, but like a different part of the entire company. And so Annapurna
hmm
Pictures, I like looked it up earlier. They have done games like Zero Dark 30, Her,
mm,
American Hustle, Foxcatcher, like all these movies. And so now they also do games, and there's a bunch of games I didn't even realize that they do that I love.
yeah.
But this Gone Home game, I've had to be really strategic about playing it because it's low key scary. You're like, you're the main character who's like, I think been away at college, and you're coming home earlier than I think folks expected, to your parents and your sister. But when you get home, nobody's there, and you live in this like big dumbass mansion that's like crickety, ancienty, like the boxes are all packed up. There's
Moving out.
cooking happening. Yeah. And so you're
Moving
like
out.
trying to figure out like where is everybody? And so it's creepy, and it kind of reminds me if anybody's ever played, what is it called? The What Remains of Edith Finch. This is another game. So I'm bringing this up because both of these games, they're like kind of cozy, but they have like a creepy like situation happening where you gotta
Like, are they
like this
cozy?
Edith Finch wasn't as scary. This game, there's like a hidden passageway that you find, and I was like, oh my God, is somebody gonna try to get me? Like, I don't know if a ghost is involved yet or whatever, but I've been playing it.
Gotta be.
I stopped playing it at night. But it's been really fun to just game. It's such a glow for me. I feel like I'm back
Yeah.
in the groove. I feel like I'm playing
Yeah.
some things that have just been giving me joy, and it's been fun to do and use my brain differently and read all the clues and contexts. And so yeah, it's been really, really nice.
Yeah. I love
I
that.
recommend the games to the people if you're.
Yeah.
How about you? What's your glow?
My glow, is just that I've been super social the past 2 weeks. Before we started to record, I was kind of giving Anna a rundown of like
Yep.
even just what last week was like. And I have just really been outside and it's been super, super fun. And I want to like do some more of that while I still can. And I've been like kind of like adjusting to being more social again. And so it's been really fun. It's been a
Mhm.
great time.
Mhm.
So
What's your
yeah.
rest been like? Because I do know as a like introvert that can do extrovert stuff, sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
gotta, you know,
Mm-hmm.
recharge.
Mm-hmm.
How have you been recharging?
Uh reading,
What are you reading?
which is like a very normal thing for me. Listeners, like I am a huge, huge, huge reader. Like my like reading goal for the year is 100 and like we're doing well. I think I'm
Mhm.
on book 59 right now.
Oh, shit. That's yeah. We're
Yeah.
within a year.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I use the word. I thought about this today. This is so funny you're bringing it up. I would say you're a voracious reader, like,
Yeah,
and I mean
definitely.
every syllable of that word.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I love it so much. And my type of books, like I typically go for fiction. Like when I'm reading, it is to like recharge. Like I don't really want to learn anything new. Like it is like I am just trying to like have a good time doing a very low energy like activity. So yeah, the last book I just finished, it's this book called Aftertaste.
Mm.
And it was like this guy has this thing called, oh gosh, Claire Gustance. Oh geez. I hope I'm saying that right. Unclear. But basically it's like kind of like within like the spiritual realm. So like when people like he's kind of like a medium, but the
Mm.
way it presents in him is that like he will get flavors of different spirits or ghosts like favorite meal. And
Yum.
yeah, and so but sometimes they're not good, right? Like sometimes they're
Oh.
actually really, really trash. But he's found a way to like what would happen is like he'd get like these flavors in his mouth and then he'll like make whatever that meal is and that would bring that spirit back for as long as their like loved one is there. Oh, I forgot that part. So he like has a restaurant, and his point is to like be able to have people like a loved one and then whoever passed away get a moment to like talk and like get closure so that that spirit can like move on. And
Wow.
so he makes the meal, and then whoever that loved one is, they like start eating it, and then like their like deceased loved one will like appear, and they get to stay for as long as it takes that person to finish that meal. And it could be a meal, it could be a drink, it could be a Reese's peanut butter cup or whatever, right? But like they get to stay for as long as it takes them to finish that meal. So then they're able to talk and get whatever kind of closure. And then
Mm.
you find out later that the spirits don't go where he thinks they go after that encounter. So it
Okay.
was
Ooh,
really
yes.
fun.
Keep
It
us
was
on
super
the edge.
fun.
I'm
Yeah,
intrigued. I'm intrigued
it's
by
super
this book.
fun. So yeah,
Nice.
I just finished that, and now I'm
Hmm.
starting this book, God of the Woods, God of the Woods. It
Okay.
was like very, 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 very popular last year. So yeah, I'm starting that up. And also listening to The Perfect Divorce, which is a sequel to The
Uh,
Perfect Marriage, which is
yeah.
a thriller. So
Yes, I have heard of that one. People
mhm,
say it's
mhm.
good, right?
I had a good time. Perfect Marriage was fun. So
Okay.
and so far, Perfect Divorce is a pretty good time too. So yeah.
Mhm.
So just yeah, doing a lot of resetting, a lot of like I'm just gonna be quiet and be still and read my book. And so that's been super nice.
I love that. I really
Yeah.
do. That's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And thinking about stories, I'm gonna again connect us to our last episode really quick before
Hmm.
we move on to debug this. Um, we are not a Mortal Kombat podcast, but today,
The trailer. Did you
yeah,
see the trailer? I saw
yeah,
it today.
yeah. And I was like, we have to talk about it because we're shooting this on, I don't even know what day it is, July 17th. And the trailer just dropped literally
Hmm.
this morning at
Hmm.
11:05 my time. And yeah, no, yeah. By the time, okay, so I want to set the scene a little bit though, because it was quite ridiculous. So I go on YouTube because sometimes I just like to have something on while I'm working. And I see that IGN is having a live about Mortal Kombat. And I
Mm-hmm.
had just seen the like teaser trailer. So I was like, oh, okay, well, shoot, let me pop in and like the trailer's only gonna be 2 seconds, right? And then I can get back to work. So I realized that they've been on live for 2 hours and they're still not gonna actually show it for like another hour. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll pop back in when it's time.
I
So I
know that's
pop back
right.
in. Yeah, right. I'm not gonna sit here like looking at the logo.
No.
So I go back on when it's time and I realize that it's an entire hour that they have like created this interactive sort of situation to really, I guess, roll out this trailer. And so what ends up happening is they have the chat like interact so that they ultimately show different characters that are gonna be in the movie. So they'll show like
Okay.
who do they show Johnny Cage and like essentially a movie poster for Johnny Cage. And then
Okay.
for another minute and a half, they show Sonya, and they had little fun snippets in between, like little trivia kind of tidbits and stuff. So that was really unnecessary. But then they finally
Mm-hmm.
show the trailer, and I was like, oh, okay, this might be dope. It seems pretty Johnny Cage forward. And my man's is
Yes.
playing Johnny Cage, the one from The Boys slash
Yes.
Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Don't remember his name right now, but a lot of people have feelings about it. I think it's going to be good. I'm like, I think he's going
I
to be.
think it'll be fine. I the honestly the only thing that like super bothered me and like I will get over it is the fact that they made Jade bald. I
Oh,
was like, no, why did we do that? Like
yeah. Yeah, they did.
that's like what?
Yeah. And she has like a it's giving an Aang, right? Does she have a tattoo or something?
She's giving Aang. Yeah. So
We have a theme. We keep bringing up the
we
same stuff.
do. We do. But like what?
Yeah. And that guy's name is Carl Urban, for anybody who
Mhm.
wanted to know. He's in The Boys and Lord of the Rings, and I don't know what else right now, but yeah, super fun. What a
Yeah. But I
time.
will go see it, and I am gonna go see it at IMAX because I think it'll be better there.
It'll be a good
So,
time. It comes out
hmm.
October 24th. I had to mention
Okay.
it because it just came out
Okay.
today and we talked about it for way too long. And so, give it an honorable mention at least.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So let's get into our debug this segment. And this is where we're really getting into and breaking down our topic for today. And that is going to be about mental health and social media. And so
Mm,
to let the folks know, I did last night ask Ariel to just look at her social media. I didn't tell
yes.
her what to do. I just said, like, peruse it, see what you notice. I don't even think I gave you that many directions, actually. I just said,
You said look at your social media. And I was like, does this mean like Facebook? I was like, I haven't been on that sucker in 6 months. You're like, no, 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 no. Just the ones that you like actually use. And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Yeah. So, I have some questions just for us to have a discussion, and I will eventually bring in a study, of course.
Mhm.
But I want to ask you just like straight up, Ariel, your gut reaction. What is the first thing you think when you hear social media?
Ugh. Literally that. Here's
Okay.
the thing. I think I have like so many like battling viewpoints on social media because I think that the original intent behind it, it was like all good, right? It's building community, it's giving people a chance to like practice social skills, to make friends, to reconnect with friends. Like I thought it was like great. It's awesome. Uh on the flip side of that, I feel like social media has taken a turn and I think it's kind of, in my opinion, gone away from like the original intent. I see just like ads on top of ads at this point. There's so much cyberbullying right now. Like, so I also see like a lot of like negatives in that too. And I also think that people use social media as a form of escapism, which could be positive or negative depending on how you choose to use it. But I also feel like people use it far too much. And it, in my opinion, is a way for them to not actually interact with folks and like to not come outside and to not like interact with people face to face. So those are my gut
Hmm.
reactions to that.
What you're saying resonates with me. And I have two thoughts. And the first is like, of course, working in schools, like you just can't help but
Hmm.
see, I think damn near daily. Maybe I'm exaggerating, especially like when I was last on a campus, it was an elementary school campus, but even then with especially the fourth and fifth graders, like the stuff that we were finding out that was happening on social media was just so shocking even to me. Like, and it's not
Yeah,
shocking, but it is shocking, I think, at the end of the day. And they're just not giving the tools to be able to navigate it. And then,
right.
so I think a lot of times we think of the kids, but I know it's affecting adults too. And I'll never forget, I was at a training for play therapy. This was years ago now. But the person that was giving the trainer, that was giving the trainer, that was giving the training, we were at their private practice and they were talking
Mm,
about how parents would come and wait for their kids in the lobby. And then when their kids came to greet their parents, the parents would literally like be on their phones and not listening to their kid, right? And their kid just like went to therapy and maybe they want to tell them about it and all this stuff, but they weren't
hmm.
actually engaging with their kids at all. And so she started like leaving education around and little flyers around to be like,
Yeah.
greet your kid when they come back from therapy and little things like that because
Jeez, yeah.
yeah, it's such a thing. And then to think about, I swear this will get better, by the way. We are like really Debbie Downing right now, but
Yeah,
it
we're
will
like,
get better. Like, wow. And then this. And then I will say the last thing. Going out to dinner and seeing families all on a
oh,
device is just so wild to me. I don't think they're all on social media. I'm not peeping their screens and being like, what are they doing? But they're all
right.
on a screen, right? And so I think that part is hard. That's a lot of shit we just said. And that all stuff is hard.
Yeah.
And then I think about the positives now. I've started to think about it more.
Hmm.
And when I'm on social media and get to see like the friends that I don't talk to every day and like see their
Right.
families, there a lot of people are having babies and stuff, and I get to see
Hmm.
that and still
Hmm.
connect or send people stuff. Like I do think that's still there to some extent,
Yeah.
especially when the ads are not taking over. And I'm like, oh, I can see the actual people that I care
Hmm.
about on here.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
is nice because there are some people I probably would never speak to again if we didn't have any sort of social media. But I'm like, oh, okay. It's nice to stay
Yeah.
connected in a way that still feels genuine. I know sometimes that it's not, but there are some
Yeah.
relationships I feel like, okay, no, this is good. And does feel good to stay connected, even if I don't
Mm-hmm.
see you even once a year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
there is a connectivity I think that is still there and I'm still happy
Yeah.
about, but we
I
do
mean,
there's a lot of
I
struggle.
think the bones of it are still there for sure. I
Hmm.
just think that, people kind of run away from it a little bit. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
I agree. What social media do you use the most and why?
I think I use TikTok the most. Because my algorithm is so tailored to my interests. And most of my algorithm, I'm just trying to laugh, y'all. Like, I'm not like really trying because I think social media you could very easily start to like doom scroll and whatnot. And I've been trying to do a really good job of like being informed, but not being like immersed in it because like really heightens my anxiety and like causes a whole other slew of issues. So most of my TikTok is humor. It's cats and dogs and millennial content and like, what I mean? Like it's just like really, really like funny, pretty innocent. It's just like things that really make me laugh. So I use TikTok the most because I typically use it like on my commute to and from work and or if I've had like a really hard day, like when I get home to de-stress, I'll like go on TikTok for a little bit. And then I log off. I'm actually pretty good about like my social media use. I don't get too wrapped up in it. And when I notice that I do, I will make like a very conscious effort to like relax a little bit. So definitely TikTok. I would say probably second most used social media is Twitter. Because that's where I can get informed on current events. Granted, you have to be very discerning about like what you're looking at and who it's coming from. But I do use Twitter a lot. I used Twitter back before, you know, the Twitter of today. And I used to use it and my favorite thing to do with Twitter actually is watching a show and seeing like live reactions on about the show. So like when like Shondaland was big and we had like Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder, Grey's Anatomy, and just being able to connect with people and see that they have very similar like opinions on what's going on was also super super fun to me.
Mhm.
And I still do that to this day. Like my Love Island stuff has been bonkers lately. I don't even really watch that show. I just got into it. But because it was like my social media was filled with it on Twitter, I was like, okay, let me see like what they talking about. And then I got locked in the last week and, really was having the best time. And I have to like, thank Twitter for that because there was so much going on that I was like, I now I gotta see. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would say those are definitely my top two.
That was so
Yeah.
unexpected for me. I totally thought you were going to say TikTok and IG, and I forgot. I know that you use Twitter, and I totally forgot because I don't
Hmm.
use it at all. And I
Hmm.
know that you use it for that besides like Black Twitter. Um,
Yeah. That's why I'm there is Black Twitter and
yeah.
TV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. And so I
Yeah.
think like, it's the same, it's similar to me, I think. Like I'm not like you. I have not reined it in. If I'm just being honest, like I should when it comes to TikTok, but it's because I use it now for like so many things. Like I'm looking
Yeah.
at and I'm damn near going there before I go to Google to be like, oh, okay, how do I do XYZ?
Yeah.
Especially YouTube
Yeah.
sometimes. I'm like, how do I paint a cabinet? On YouTube, you go on there and they're like, welcome to my channel. Da, 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 da. And they're like, you're like 5 minutes and you're like, but where is the cabinet? What page?
Where's the cabinet?
Like,
Do
whatever,
you know
whatever.
what you're talking about?
Yeah, like, come
Like,
on. So, like a DIY situation, I'm on there. Looking up a recipe, I'm on there. Um,
yeah.
feeling really, really sad and missing fall, putting in the search
Yeah.
autumn, feeling instantly happier. Pets. looking at it. Really want to axolotl now? Why? TikTok. Like, just it brings me a lot of joy. I love a good makeup tutorial and a trend, a little dance, Like I think I'm
Yeah.
entertained. It is a happy place. When I want to, I do engage with like maybe the politics or like the things happening in the world. And if I don't have it in
Hmm.
me, I'll stay on like funny pets and babies and like have a good time.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I love TikTok so much.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know. So I do you use a period tracker?
No.
Oh wow. Okay, so I definitely do. And it asks like I use Stardust and it gives not it gives you can put in your symptoms, right? And one of the symptoms on there is phone vortex. Like that's a whole thing. And now that I've gotten that from them, I'm like, that's exactly what it is, like being just in your phone and being so wrapped
Yeah.
up. And that's
Yeah.
definitely happened to me on occasion. And I'll like select it to be like, dang, that happened to me. And it happens more so with TikTok, especially ever since it went from 1 minute to like some of these are long now.
Yo, they
And
be
I'm like,
long.
yo, how much time went by? What do you
Yes.
mean? I didn't even know I was on here that long. And
Mhm.
so, like I've definitely even gotten to the point where that lady comes on and she's like, so you've been on TikTok quite a while. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then sometimes I'm like, girl, get off. Like we have been
You're like, first of all, mind your business,
mind
okay?
it, but also thank
Like,
you. I gotta go. I gotta get off of here. If you're coming up, this is really bad. Then, then I would say my second one is IG, but even then it's because I don't use anything else.
yeah.
Like I looked at how much I use it because I was like, do I even use this for real? And I think it came out to
Hmm.
maybe 5 minutes a day, not even a strong like 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Um, and I was really looking at my algorithm on there, and there's a lot of I've had to really like, what do people say? Like, go and clean it up and like really pay attention to
Yeah.
what you're liking and all that stuff, just to make sure that when I'm looking at it, it brings me joy. Because it didn't
Right.
always used to do that for me. I think way back in the day, I'd look at it and I wouldn't have like a sense of jealousy, but I would have a sense of, I don't know, just feeling like I'm not doing enough,
Yeah.
feeling
It's
like
just like a natural thing to compare,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
comparing, and it wasn't bringing me joy. So I actually like tapped out for a long time. And now I've
Hmm.
gotten back into it and been just really selective about who I'm following and what I'm seeing. And even like the ads that I see, like they're Lego
Yeah.
ads because I love Legos, like stuff like it's really reading me well. Um,
Yeah.
but now for me, it's pretty much like friends, books, Black women being great, embroidery, just stuff, Dallas events, stuff like that, stuff that I really
Hmm.
like. So
Hmm.
I know that it impacts people in different ways.
Yeah.
Hopefully, what we've said kind of resonates with you to some degree, because I
Yeah.
know that a lot of folks can get just like sucked in and in this like cycle of scrolling. And so I'm going to get into our study now. And it's a study
Hmm.
that talks a little bit about self-moderation. So this is a UK study
Mm.
that was published this year, so May of 2025, and it's a mouthful, so bear with me. It's called Exploring Mental Health Content Moderation and Wellbeing Tools on Social Media Platforms. So, what all that means is that they looked at four platforms and they looked at what those platforms did to support mental health. So, they looked at Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr,
Mm.
and Tell Me. Tell Me, I won't really get into, but it's a UK based app because,
Okay.
again, the study was done in the UK. And
Yeah.
I don't actually know anybody who uses Tumblr. I was like, Tumblr? Like, what a choice. But maybe that's.
Tumblr was way back,
Mhm, mhm,
But
mhm.
I do remember it was huge. Like that was like the days of like old school YouTube stuff too. So it was like around that time, I want to say.
Yeah, yeah, I do recall that also. So I don't know
Mm.
why they chose it actually, but I did read about why they didn't choose Facebook, and they didn't choose
Mm.
Facebook because of it being under Meta, and they figured it would be the same as IG, and more so young people
Mm.
use IG than they do Facebook, so that's what they decided to go with.
Mm.
But I figured for our purposes, we'll focus mostly on IG and TikTok because
Yeah.
that's what we use the most. We're not
Yeah.
using Tell Me because it's not in the US, and we're not using Tumblr for real.
Right.
Um, so you already talked, Ariel, about using TikTok. Do you use IG? Why? Why not?
Mm. I'm not really super on IG. Only because I'm not like super interested, really. Like, and I feel like with like the reels, in my opinion, I think like the reels that pop up on IG are like 3 weeks behind TikTok.
I'm,
So
I'm
like
snapping. I'm snapping here. Feel the same
so
way.
I'm like, I don't need to watch to be on TikTok as much as I'm on TikTok and then also be on like IG and like watch the same stuff. Like I don't really need that.
Hmm.
So I'm not super on IG. Also like I don't I don't really post all that much. Like if anything, I'm posting trips after I get back from them, or I would post like a lot of like dog content, when I had pup, or like every now and then if I'm out and about, like I'll post like a story, like, I went to a concert last night. I didn't post anything, but I was tagged in a post, so I just like reposted that sucker. So like I don't really super use it, just because like I don't really engage in social media in that way. I'm like more of a lurker, I guess. Like that's what the kids call them, right? Like I'm definitely more of a lurker. So like because of that, like I just don't
Hmm.
really use it all that much. But
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. And all that to say, because I don't want anybody to throw shade at us or us low key throwing shade at ourselves. We are trying to use it to connect to people too, right? Like we're trying to use it in
Yeah.
a positive way. So we also have
Yeah.
IG for the podcast, you know what I'm saying? Glitch and Glow Pod, come and follow us there because we
Okay,
are
come
trying to
see
create a
us.
space where everybody
Yeah.
can come, have it be a safe space and interact,
Right.
catch the new episodes, get new updates, see a little bit of us. So I do want to put that out there. I
Yeah.
do also want to say this is on topic, off topic. So I think this is a perfect example too of the difference between IG and TikTok. So I had seen that Meg and Clay are together, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't know, Clay Thompson now with the Dallas Mavericks for basketball is dating Megan Thee Stallion, right?
I didn't know he played for the Mavs.
Yeah, girl, last year was his first year. It was a big deal, but here we are.
Yikes.
So, yep.
Anyways.
Yep. So, it was announced. I saw it on TikTok first, looking at the comments. Everybody's like, get it, girl. Oh my God. It's like such a
Mm-hmm.
good time. We're all just like
Mm-hmm.
so excited for her. She's looking like she's in love, but I won't say that because it seems new and I don't know their business. So then I think my husband sent me. I don't know if it was Clay's post. I think so. And it was on Instagram. I'm looking at the comments and I'm like, where are we? Because I didn't know where we were first. I said, why are they saying these negative things in this way? Like, how dare they? Like, they were saying mean stuff about him, mean stuff about off
Yeah.
top, like first, like off rip. And I said, where are we right now? Let me go to TikTok. Let me go over here back to where we have a little bit more positive, at least my TikTok and
Yeah.
For You page and the folks that I'm following, we're saying cute stuff. We are supporting my
Yeah.
girl. We are supporting love over here. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
also just a difference for me, like the vibes
Yeah.
sometimes, and maybe I haven't gotten my algorithm right enough on IG. I think the stuff that I'm looking at, yes, but sometimes it's just a little off.
Yeah.
Something is a
Yeah.
little off over there.
Yeah.
Something. Okay, so let's get back on track. Because I had another soapbox moment, but so we were talking about this study and we were talking about self-moderation because we can get sucked into this like phone vortex.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned in this study, again, the study talks about a lot of stuff. And so if you're interested in learning more, I would say go ahead and click on the link in the description and you can look at it as much as you'd like and read through it. It's like 32
Mm-hmm.
pages long, but it's really good stuff.
I
And they
know.
give a lot of recommendations about like what platforms specifically can do to support mental health better of their users.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they had
Mm-hmm.
this really small section on self-moderation. And I learned that Instagram has 21 and TikTok has 23 self-moderation tools. Do you know anything about these, Ariel?
Not a single thing.
And why do you think you don't know anything about these?
I don't know. Maybe they're just like, I don't know if they're not popular. I don't know if it's just like not accessible to my For You page. Unclear, truly. Like
Mhm.
I would actually like to know what these are because I think that, you know what?
Mm.
Is it because like they want people to be on it longer? So in promoting self-moderation, that means that like it would be encouraging people to be a little bit more mindful of how much time they're spending on that.
Okay, so you're messing up my flow, but that's okay. Let's get into it a little bit.
I literally had like a light bulb, like eureka moment as I was speaking.
Let's do it. So this is exactly what the study is talking about it at one point. They're saying like, cool, there's like user guidelines and stuff like that that these platforms have. And they might say a little bit of something, but first off, are we reading these if we're being honest? When we're signing up for these platforms, click, click, click. I'm not even reading the tutorial. I'm trying to create my account and keep it moving, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
legit was like, TikTok has what? The amount of time I've put into this. TikTok has, what do you mean? And so their whole thing is like, to your point, Ariel, if you really wanted folks to know about these things, you would make it just more evident when you're doing the sign up process.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not, so you don't really know about it unless you go to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them are time management, filtering, privacy controls, prompts
Mm-hmm.
to take screen breaks. You can have quiet time and go to sleep time, all in specifically TikTok and IG. Had no idea.
Wow.
I was
No
so,
clue.
yeah, I was so shook. I said, I really, y'all, I'm on TikTok too much. I really was like, where? Okay. So I went to go look for it. I was like, I've never been taught. Let's see, as somebody who's never been taught, how do I go find this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure everybody can find it, but I'm gonna just talk through it. Bear with me a little bit. So you know the like three lines when you go on your account, they got the three lines, like the hamburger
Yes.
in the top corner.
Mm-hmm.
So you click
Mm-hmm.
on those for TikTok. Then you go to settings and privacy. Then you go to the activity center. Then you go to screen time. So I had to click
Oh,
around to
wow. They're making
follow
it
this.
real easy for us. Like,
Yes.
good
Clock
grief.
the sarcasm. But so I finally find it, right? And I really do have a TikTok problem. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put these into place. I've not been on TikTok since I did that this morning, but I ended up creating a daily screen time limit for an hour. They have like 40 minutes as the least. I was like, I really do use this to look up a recipe or three or whatever I'm doing. So like
Yeah.
an hour feels good for me. And then I gave myself like screen time breaks every 10 minutes. So I should be getting a like, hey, you've been on here. You know what I'm saying? And then I
Mm-hmm.
updated my sleep hours. And then when you scroll to the bottom of the page, they have a digital well-being like link that takes you to their safety center that gives you all these tips about how you can actually manage your social media use. So all that to
Mm.
say, who knew? Who
Not I.
knew?
Not I. I know that
Really
much.
though. And I think I wanted to share, and it stood out to me so much because, like we have both said, we've seen it so much, just like how much folks are on their phones, and it can be really
Mm-hmm.
hard to just have that reminder or
Yeah.
to like get off the phone. And sometimes, if we're being really honest, that lady comes up and I don't listen to her and I keep looking at my phone, right? Like we know that that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We know that
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately it's kind of on the user to go ahead and make sure that you're doing the self-moderation. But I was thinking, like, what's something that folks could take away? I think that that's something that's super helpful is like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I also think like it's just so easy to get like sucked into it. So to at least even get a reminder to be like, hey, you've been on here for a little bit. Like, even if you're like, that's fine, I'm gonna keep going,
Hmm.
it just gives you a little like pause. You know what I mean? So yes, it's definitely up to the user to decide to like log off or not. But I do think that like reminder is helpful
Hmm.
because I could be on TikTok and then next thing I know, it's an hour later and I'm
No,
like,
yeah.
who put that there? You know, like,
The meme with the like monkey.
like exactly. So
What?
like, yeah, I think just that alone is really helpful. And at least it's also helping you make a conscious choice about how you want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Makes me think of when you're trying to make a behavior change, you have to like notice it in order to
Mm-hmm.
take the pause and have the moment to be like, okay, now I'm gonna make a choice, like you're saying, for sure. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
tough out here, and they're not making it so that you want to leave. Like
Right. Right.
genuinely,
Like
it's just
my algorithm, it's perfect. It is perfect for me, like truly perfect. I will be laughing so hard to myself because of some of these videos and like
yeah.
yeah, it can get you sometimes.
You know
So
what's so funny about you saying that? Because like I feel like we laugh at our videos so much, but I'll go and I'll show it to someone else, and the reaction isn't what I thought. And I'm like, dang, this was really made for me. Like I have a very specific algorithm that they have really clocked in on that they know I'm gonna enjoy this bit of thing.
Mhm,
So I think I told
mhm,
y'all last episode that I was gonna visit Ariel, IRL. And so I saw her. And this makes me
mhm.
think of like when you showed me that turtle video, I was like, oh, I love this and it's cute. But I know I wasn't giving you what you wanted. You were
I
like,
was
look
like,
at
I
this
don't need you
turtle.
to. Like, this turtle is ruining everything.
And I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. I'm like really being too logical about like how does this lady have this turtle? This turtle's kind of violent. Like, is she
I was like, you don't
effectively
see him knocking
control?
all this pool furniture over?
I'm concerned more that I am like cracking up. I'm like,
I was like, yeah,
So all that to
that's
say,
so real though.
they're getting you, they're
Yeah,
getting you.
yeah.
And so if you need to rein it in, there's some stuff on the TikTok and on IG too. It's very similar,
Hmm.
like the three hamburger lines on your account. You go to time management and then you can change up some stuff too, in case you need that, because it's tough out here and it's rewiring our brains. And so we need all the help that we can get, truly and
Hmm.
deeply. But if there's
Hmm.
one thing, or maybe more, maybe multiple, I don't know, Ariel, if there's something that you could change, make happen, whatever, to change the impact of social media on mental health, what would it be? I know that's a loaded question.
Oh, loaded question.
That voice.
It's like
Oh, just
my
thinking out
mind
loud.
just went to so many different places.
I know.
Um, so I mean, I don't know how they could do this because I do feel like there's an effort to be made in terms of like security and privacy. And I think that could be amped up more, especially for non-adults. Reason why I'm thinking that is just when I did used to work at a school, like I've had students who like end up connecting with like predators because there's not many privacy or security features on there. It's very easy to like kind of get around it, and so like that's one of the first things that kind of comes to mind is just like safety and how like I think it's really difficult to manage safety, especially on social media apps. But that's honestly, that's like the first thing that kind of comes to mind. I also think that um if there could just be more moderators when it comes to like the really like negative and like hateful things that people are putting online, like I
Mhm.
think that one of the things I have talked to like teens about, especially in terms of social media, is how like I'm like, man, like y'all have it in this way much tougher than my generation. Like, yes, we kind of like grew up with the beginnings of social media, but like we originally did not feel the need to like flat out compare our lives to like everybody because it wasn't available. People didn't have access to our lives like that, right? So like silly example, but it's even like going out to the club back in the day.
Mhm.
Like we was dancing and we
Mhm.
looked crazy in a big
Did
sweaty
we?
mess, but we
Mhm.
had a time. Okay. We
Mhm.
had a time.
Mhm.
And when I talk to like, younger folks who are now like experiencing the club for the first time, and I'll ask them, like, what is it like? Is it fun? And they're like, yeah, it's fun. I'm like, okay, so what are you doing? And they're like, oh, we're just kind of like getting sections and getting bottle service. We're taking videos or taking pictures. And I'm like, are we dancing? And they're like, no. And I was like, I don't understand. Like immediately like malfunctioning. And I think like part of that is because like nobody wants to look like stupid, right? Nobody wants people to be looking at them being carefree, experiencing joy, and then seeing them and making fun of them for it.
Mhm.
And I think so much of that has happened in the past, and now it's like created this culture where like everything is so produced.
Mhm.
And it makes me sad for them because like we had a time when it wasn't like that and we were just really out here. So I talked in a circle, I feel like. But yeah, I think safety procedures I think could definitely be changed in a perfect world. And then I also think just the impact that social media has on like ability to like have a good time, experience joy, feel like you're not being judged. I wish that was a thing that, younger generations could kind of like get back, I suppose. So, yeah.
Yeah, you said a lot, and I listen to this podcast. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's literally talking about your first point about safety in
Hmm.
technology, social
Yeah.
media, online gaming, like all that stuff. And it's so complicated, like much more
Yeah.
complicated than I actually ever thought it could be. And listening to that
Yeah.
podcast has been really helpful to me. If I remember it, I'll bring it up eventually at some point. Because it's really hard. And specifically, you talk about moderation.
Hmm.
And moderation then gets into this thing of like, well, who can actually say stuff? Are we getting into
Yeah.
freedom of speech stuff?
Right.
And we talked about how in the study they also used a platform or analyzed a platform called Tell Me. And now I am going to talk about it a little bit. This platform is for folks ages 11 through 25, and you're mostly interacting with people, from what I read, who are in like the same age group, maybe a few years away, but you can
Hmm.
post anonymously about stuff that you're going through mental health wise and or respond to other
Mm.
folks. And so it could be something as simple or maybe intense as I'm really struggling right now. The day's been really hard. I don't know how I'm going to get through the next week or something like that. And then somebody
Hmm.
else who is your peer can then respond, etc. But what's
Hmm.
interesting is that they have moderators who are reading your post or your
Yeah.
response before it's getting to, I guess, the discussion area, or I don't know what they call it. But
Hmm.
it's just really interesting to think about that. And granted, that's like highly moderated, right? Like that's next
Right.
level, but it's because that app is used for something really specific. And it's found, they have like a bunch of data on their website too, like found to be really helpful for folks. So folks' mental health because at least
Yeah.
they're going to somebody in a world where they may feel like they can't go to anybody, and then they can be anonymous too. Um, and I also want to mention that the study talks about this concept of algo speak. And this is like the workarounds that folks use to get around words that you can't say. So, like on TikTok,
Mm.
you can't say stuff like kill, or you can't say
Or you can't say,
murder. You
yeah,
can't.
or like gun or like
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah. And so
stuff.
folks
Yeah.
say all sorts of other things in order to get
Hmm.
around that. And again, it's just really hard to moderate that stuff. So I don't have the answer. I think there are folks who are really in that world and really deep into it, and this is like their thing, and they're really trying to figure it out, whether that's them doing the work with these platforms and or trying to figure out how to get government involved or think about the ethics around it and stuff like that. So there is hope. There are people working on it.
Yeah.
It's not you and I though.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'll stick to my cat videos. Thank you.
Yeah. But there are people working on it, so there is hope for me. At least
Yeah.
I especially go to listen to that podcast.
Yeah.
And to your point about like experiencing joy, when I thought about my answer to the question of like what would I have changed, I know this is still putting the onus on the user, but I'm thinking like quick as possible. What can I give people? I always think about educating parents,
Hmm.
kids, people, whatever about social media and technology use. And there's
Hmm.
so much about digital media literacy on the National Association for Media Literacy
Hmm.
website. They
Hmm.
have so much stuff, and I have not gone through it all yet. I wouldn't even say I've gone through it deeply at all, but I'm like, they have so much there, and I wish that people knew more about it.
Hmm.
Or if you're like, I'm not going to go on a website and read any of that. I don't know if you've seen it, Ariel, but there's a documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. Have you seen it?
Oh, yes, I've seen it. Oh, yes. I was like, whoa.
Right? Explain it. Explain it to the people who haven't.
So if I'm remembering correctly, because I feel like this came out a few years ago, right?
Yes, it did.
Weren't they trying to depict like how easy it is to be like influenced on social media, right?
Hmm.
So if I'm remembering this correctly, so you might have to like remind me, but I want to
Hmm.
say there was this teen, right? Like he was a teen and like he started engaging more with social media, and they were talking about how like social media companies and marketing, they like target like a specific, or they are they have specific things and they're targeting like youth for it to kind of like influence like thought essentially.
Mhm.
And then the example that they were showing in that documentary, weren't they showing a lot of more like right wing, like that kind of stuff, right? Like more of like along those thoughts of like more right wing or conservative thought and like funneling videos and ads and targeted things towards this teen. And it was just kind of showing how like that has impacted like how he experiences the world and like, experiences like thought and like how that kind of like shapes like his interactions and whatnot. But I know there's like a really large section just based on like all the behind the scenes things that go on so that like they can make sure that user engagement stays up, right?
Yeah, you're totally right. So like this one teen, quote unquote, yeah, he's like a teen, right?
I
He
think
is
he
like
was a
the through
teen.
line throughout the entire documentary. And
Mm-hmm.
what's happening is like experts, people who made these social media platforms, are being interviewed and are talking about the stuff that they do in order to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that folks are engaging. And I would say
Yeah.
like, see, having the story and having like the, oh, this is how this would play, like a case study, I think is what it kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah. It was like a case study.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like that you're
Mm-hmm.
actually seeing being played out so that you don't aren't just hearing data and hearing these stories from people, but you're actually seeing what it might look like in somebody's life. Um,
Mm-hmm.
was terrifying. So many of them were like, yeah, I developed social media and I'm trying to get you hooked, but my kids don't have a phone and they will never have social media. Like, what do you
Yes.
mean? Why are you
Yes.
doing this to us? So it's like, how do we engage in a really healthy way? And I think that really
Mm-hmm.
brings me to my last question then.
Mm-hmm.
What do you recommend besides scrolling then?
I recommend that people go touch grass.
I love that. I put that as my answer when I brainstormed. I was like, touch grass.
Go touch grass. Go outside. Like, leave your home if you can, disengage from your phone and try to like be more mindful and present with your outside environment.
Mhm.
Like, I think that social media, while there's so many benefits to it, I also think that like it's like a detriment to like practicing social skills.
Mhm.
Like, I think the way people engage on social media is completely, or not, I'm not going to talk in absolutes, but like can be completely different than how you choose to interact with somebody who is sharing the same space as you.
Mhm.
And I think so much of social media is based on like building connections and building community. And like, I think like as a whole, as a society, we need to make more of an effort to do that with others in our like physical space.
Mhm.
So put the phones down, guys. If you can, put the phones down.
You're making it sound so easy. It sounds like you're really good at
So
it.
hard.
Yeah, it's
Well, I've also been like very disciplined with it. So it hasn't been something that I've like really, really struggled with. So I do feel like for me, it is easier to do that. But if I was more hooked, I imagine it would be very, very difficult. So
yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna be the one to be like, so I have a hard time.
mhm.
So first, before I get into my difficult time, if you're someone like me who's having a hard time, I think also after you're touching grass, being okay being bored. I've like
Mm,
been bored a few times and been like, oh wow, I remember this feeling. What do I want
mhm,
to do? And then it'll come to me. I'll like listen to my body, maybe meditate for a second. It sounds corny,
mhm,
but it's super helpful. We're
mhm,
never bored anymore, or we feel guilty personally. I might feel guilty when I'm like, I should be doing something. Uh,
mhm,
and so maybe I'll pop on my phone because it feels like I'm being productive, but I know that that's not being productive at all.
mhm,
Um, so actually, and now I'm thinking about Brene Brown. I forgot which book of hers I was reading, but she was talking about being intentional. Like there are times where she will scroll and she'll like stop and say, what's something else that I've been wanting to do that
mhm.
even if it's still chilling, like will make me feel like I did something. So like, what's a movie that I've been putting off? Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna go watch that movie instead of doing this. And that's been helpful
Mhm,
when I think about that. Like, what's something
mhm,
else? Like the book that I want to finish. I even started like
mhm.
creating a little list on my phone of like things that
Yeah.
I can bounce to. But even with all that, like I
It's
said,
so hard. Yeah.
sometimes that girl pops up and I'm like, ooh, I don't care. I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do. And what I've noticed is that when I'm starting to be more disciplined again, because I'm not always like this in my life, there are just seasons. But when I'm starting to get more disciplined again, what I find is that I'm still going to pick up my phone. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I woke up picking up my phone and I'm used to like going, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with work, picking up my phone. I'm taking a break at work, picking up my phone and like going to TikTok or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And so
Mm-hmm.
now what I started doing is I have like some games on deck on my phone that I'll pick up
Mm-hmm.
and do at least instead. So like a puzzle game like Stitch, or I don't know for anybody, I sound so crazy saying this right now. I can't believe I'm gonna say it. So I like Android phones a lot. And now I have an Apple phone, though. A Apple phone, Jesus, a iPhone.
Or
Don't thumbs down me. Um, but what's been really nice, and I don't remember the Android having this, is that the iPhone has Apple Arcade. And so I pay like 7, 8 bucks a month, whatever. And I get to play those games unlimited, like without ads or anything like that.
mm,
And
mm-hmm.
so I have like games that are easy to just like pick up and play whenever I'm feeling like, oh, I wanted to pick it up and scroll. Let me do this instead. So I play games like
Mm-hmm.
Stitch, Good Pizza, Great Pizza, Balatro or Balatro, however you say it, this Tamagotchi game. Just like really, really cute games. And now they even have games that are like on the Switch that I'm like, this was on your phone the whole time. Like, I didn't know that, like
Mm-hmm.
Hello Kitty and all this stuff. So I think that's been something that's been really helpful to me is like, what else can I do in that like weird space of I don't want to be on my phone, but I'm finding myself grabbing it and starting to
Mm-hmm.
go somewhere. Where else can
Mm-hmm.
I go in the meantime? And
Yeah.
that's been helpful for me. So
Yeah.
having just some backup stuff to do because it can
Yeah, definitely.
you know,
Mhm.
or looking at something that brings you joy and makes you laugh at least.
Yeah.
Really.
Because
Yeah.
social media is not all bad. I don't want people to think I'm like anti-social media because I'm definitely not. But I also I feel like kind of what you're saying. I have so many like backup things that, and because I've been more in the practice of doing that, it just comes easier to me. So that's why, I mean, honestly, it's half the reason why I read as much as I do
Mhm.
is because, well, one, I just really love to read, but it also is something that like helps me kind of log off when I need to. And I feel like it's the healthiest form of escapism that I've been able to kind of navigate. And I think that like itches a part of my brain that social
Mhm.
media may not necessarily scratch. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, we're not negative Nancy's about it. We've
No.
seen the darkest of the dark sides. I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mhm.
actually not really. I went to a conference one time and it was about the dark web, and I know that that's separate from social media, but I
Mhm.
realized I didn't know a damn thing about the dark web, and I was in
I
that
don't know anything.
session, and I was like, oh my God. Like I just really I felt very disconnected to what's maybe happening in parts and corners of the world that I don't want to engage in. So we
Yeah.
haven't seen the darkest of the darkest. We've just seen some unfortunate instances. And so,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have some thoughts, but those thoughts are ultimately, we can get there. We can get to a good place, but it
Hmm.
take a while and a lot of intentionality, actually.
Yeah, I think it's just really about how you choose to use it, you know? So do what works best,
Mhm.
but just be mindful. That's all.
Yes. Try.
Do your best.
Try
That's
your
all
best.
we ask. That's all we're doing is our best.
That's all I'm doing. Just try. That's all I got. That's all I got for.
Okay. Well, let's shift on into glow mode then. Glow mode is a space for wins, wisdom, and words that lift us up. So, Edna, what is a word or a phrase or affirmation that sets your intention for the week?
I think it's gonna be touching grass. Um, so I think I've talked about
Hmm.
it before that I work remotely, and I've been getting super weird working out. I know I just traveled, but I've been noticing like, oh girl, we're like in this room in your house every day. And it's been so
Yeah.
hot here too that I'm not like when the weather's decent, I'll go outside. You know what I'm saying? I'll like take a little walk around the block or something like that. But I haven't been doing that because it's effing hot outside.
Mm,
And so today even I literally went to the backyard and I sat down and I like let the sun be on me and I like put my face towards
mm-hmm,
the sun. I was like, get the vitamin D. Uh,
mm-hmm,
so I think literally at least doing that a few times. And if I can, like go work at a coffee shop or go work at the library. I have a friend that used to work at the library and she just reminded me that one near my house has like study rooms and stuff like that. So I was like, that's good and that's free
mm,
99. Ooh, and
mm-hmm,
Ariel, she
mm.
told me that the downtown Dallas library does have video games for rent. Our like small branches.
Hey.
Yeah, but the one that I was like, okay, Ariel was right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that made me excited. I'm glad I got to circle back on that for you.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like essentially touching grass, like legit getting out of my house.
yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
want to do.
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. How about you?
Um, Honestly, I think what I want to focus on the next couple of weeks really is just I just want to keep tapping into fun, honestly. Like I know at the top of the show it's kind of talking about how I've been more social and it's been a really good time for me. So I want to continue to do that and to be outside and go to my concerts and street fest. I was telling Edna earlier today that I'm going to be dog sitting this weekend, and I'm super excited for that because it's been a little bit since I've had some fun dog energy, and she's a
Mhm.
cuddler, so that'll be really cute. So yeah, it'll just be nice to kind of do that and engage in like activities that make me super, super happy. So,
I love that. Because you got to do it while the weather's
yeah,
nice up there. You know, you got to get it
you
while you
know,
can.
like, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a little rainy, but it's fine. So, like,
You didn't need a coat. You
you
didn't
know,
need that
didn't
part.
need to go.
Mhm.
Exactly. So, yeah, I just want to like keep doing that. Yeah, keep trying out new breweries and just doing Chicago summer, really. Like I just want to keep doing that because I don't have any plans on traveling anytime soon. And so I really want to like take advantage of that. So
Yeah, they don't call it
yeah.
summertime shy for no reason, you know?
Hello.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Well, y'all, we were talking at the beginning of the episode, or before we made the episode, actually. And I was like, I don't think we've told folks that we're on YouTube and we're on Spotify. So you can catch us at both. If you want to look at us, go to YouTube. If you want to just
Mm-hmm.
listen to us, Spotify. And of course, like
Mm-hmm.
we already said, you can follow us on IG. We are a bi-weekly podcast right now. And so we post every 2 weeks on Tuesday. And so we'll see you in 2 weeks on Tuesday. And as we power down, remember, every glitch has a glow up. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.